No Jumper, coolest podcast in the world. And today we got the one and only Jackie Chain back on the podcast. How you feeling,
Yes,
man?
feeling good, man. It's been a while, man. A lot of changes since the last time I was here,
A lot of
man.
changes, man. You were downtown, and I was downtown was when we did our first interview, and I was looking through the YouTube file, and I saw that in the description I wrote like, I met Jackie Chain at the bar the other day because I was at Black Bar, remember?
Yeah. Oh yeah,
and,
my favorite bar.
Oh god, that was the bar because that's where I met Gangsta Boo as well.
Yeah, man.
And I ran into you there, probably drunk as fuck. I bet I would not be surprised if on the other podcast I told this story to start it as well. It was 4 years ago, so I can't remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just ran into you there, drunk as fuck. Like, oh my god, Jackie Chain is just so sick. And here we are, 4 years later.
Yeah, man. It's been a great ride.
Yeah, what you been up to? It's been 4 years. I'm sure you've been into many things over these years.
Yeah, man. Just been, I made the transition into cannabis industry like many rappers. You know, the only difference is I actually get out there and get my hands dirty. I'm just not like branding some shit, you know.
Right.
I really enjoy it, man, and we filmed it, man, and it's out, you know, social club TV. Croptober, you can see it on, Roku, Fire Stick, Apple TV, Android TV.
Right.
About to be on a couple bigger platforms. We're gonna, but yeah, it's out, man, and we're chilling, man, and it's just.
But so okay, 4 years ago when I spoke with you, how deep in the weed game were you at that time?
You know, I owned the dispensary on Melrose, man.
Okay.
And working there, it's like. I really saw vendors coming in and just making mad cake, man. So I started growing indoor, here in LA. But maybe a year at that time, had grown maybe a year. You know, I was green, man. I still didn't know I still don't know exactly what I'm doing. This is never.
But so you were growing out of grow houses just in random fucking neighborhoods and shit.
Yeah.
Before you had the weed shop, or was that something that you got into once you had the shop?
Yeah. That was after. Like once the weed shop shut down, I was like, well, man, I can fucking grow this shit. You know? And so
why did it shut down?
Man,
Gangs?
dude, nah, man. Yeah, I was an Alabama boy from up in Cali slanging weed, man. I didn't adhere to the rules. Like if you didn't, at that time you needed a card. It wasn't recreational like it is now. So you had to have that card. So people would come from out of town. I'd just sneak them in the back, and it got to where my neighbors were complaining because I had clothing stores next to me, and so we're in the back just blazing up, and I got a letter from the Fed saying shut down or it's $2,500 a day, and so man, I just had to.
And so you were running an unlicensed weed shop, which there's not a ton of those anymore, correct? Or are they still prevalent?
I don't know, man. I don't. At the time, it's like I paid like a little bullshit license that didn't mean shit. It's just a way for the state to make money or whatever because it didn't mean nothing. It was because at the time it was pre-ICO license. You had to have a license that was before 90 something, and if you were one of the original shops, they wouldn't fuck with you. But it's just a bunch of politics, man,
right.
and all kinds of crazy shit, man. And me being from the South and growing up around four-wheelers and in the woods and all that, and I just bought a property, and then I just went from there, bought another property and just started really, really, really loving it, man. It's crazy, it's crazy to plant something and then you smoke it a couple months later,
Definitely. But so when you were running that shop though, like being an unlicensed shop is the game pretty much that people just come in, they got a pound or whatever, you take it, you're the man of the shop. So you're smelling it, you're touching it, and you're like, all right, I'm gonna give you this for it. And and anybody who comes in off the street is somebody that you potentially would do business with, at least at that time?
Fuck yeah. And and what was dope about it was they would drop off samples. So I would just get people dropping off edibles and gummies and fucking Jolly Ranchers and, ounces of this. And so, it was cool, man. But yeah, we just, man, if you had some good herb, we'd buy it and slang it, man. It really is. It's really like a Wild Wild West type shit.
Right. And the name of the game at that time was basically to just have that shop stay low key, don't get the cops involved or whatever.
Yeah.
And that, but nowadays it's a little different where it's very hard to exist as an unlicensed shop, from what I understand.
Yeah, no, it is. And I wasn't too low key on Melrose. You know what I'm saying?
Hard place to be,
right
low
there
key,
by
yeah.
Fairfax, and you know, I delivered to all the. I delivered to Diamond and to Crooks and Cad. You know, anytime they had rappers come in town, they'd call me. I'd bring over to Sax. You know, and it was cool, man. You know, but I really felt like getting my hands dirty. I wanted to get out there and it's a lot more money. Like when you start talking about that scale of growing,
Right.
you know, you can only make so much with 8 lights in a garage. You know what I'm saying?
And it's hard to imagine that kind of weed shop existing on Melrose when on Melrose you have Cookies, you have Genius.
Yeah.
They're obviously legal. They're selling weed at legal rates. So like, you know, I hear about people going in these shops and copping an eighth for $80 or whatever. It's like they're not gonna just sit there and be paying all these taxes and shit and letting other people rock on the same block,
I mean,
right?
Yeah, I mean, it's probably good that I got shut down because I wasn't paying shit for taxes. I don't even think I had a cash register, man. It was just like, man, you know, it is what's weird. It's weird. It's a trap spot, man.
We all kind of took it for granted that those kind of shops existed at that time.
Man, you know, people out here in Cali really don't understand, but like to be from the South or somewhere where, and to experience that for the first time okay, I've been smoking weed 10, 15 years, but I can actually walk into a place and it, you know, it was overwhelming. And I think I went for it, you know, and it was fun. I don't regret it. It was fun, you know, and it was cool, but definitely, you know, a lot of politics in that game. You know what I'm saying? It's
I remember you telling me a story about somebody showing up with West Hollywood tattooed on their face and saying like, "Hey, you got to be paying if you want to be in this area, right?"
Yeah, I've never had someone tell me they would kill me so calmly. He was just like, you know, I don't want to have to, you know, go by your mother's house, go by your friend's house, come by here. One day you might come. This whole place is burned down, and I'm just like, no, I don't want that, man. You know? But I mean, at the same time, he was like, man, you know, if you're ever in a fight or in the club and you need something, call me. I'm there, bro. Like, you know, it was a, you know, I don't know if that would have happened, but I mean, it was definitely threw that around, you know. But it's a lot of politics, man. And, you know, you're in someone's neighborhood. Yeah. And you're essentially selling dope on someone's block. So yeah, you know, and, you know, it was definitely eye-opener for me. You know, I was like, whoa, this shit's real. This is like some movie shit. Some fucking extortion shit, you know.
Because I was having a conversation with a homie the other day who was in a gang and shit, and he was talking about how weed shop opened up in like his hood where he grew up, and whatever the gang is in that area, they came to the weed shop owner and they were pretty straight up about it, like, yo, we're gonna make your life a living hell if you don't give us $5,000 a month or whatever it was. And then they basically negotiated it, started doing the payment plan, and then soon after it's like, nah, like we need more. And I'm sure I would have kept going in that direction. Man. They ended up shutting the whole store down because they didn't want to be out here just beefing with all these crazy dudes.
No, man, yeah. And he'd come by, man. He'd be like, hey, man, I need to put something in your safe for a couple hours. And I'd be like, bro, I can't do that, man. You know, and it was just like, you know, it was a weird situation for someone who didn't grow up around that type of shit. You know, I didn't, you know, we didn't have fucking shit, because pretty much he was like, look, man, fucking the hot dog vendors pay, taco trucks pay, every weed shop, I don't care if they're Russian, Asian, Bulgarians, everybody pays us, everybody, you know. And I started asking people, and everybody paid, you know, at least where I was at, my area, you know, it was,
interesting.
They were like, yeah, man, it's just part of the, you know, how it goes, you know, and
you make me feel lucky that they never hit us up with the bike shop on Melrose, like, hey, we need 1%. We would have been like, this place really ain't bringing any money, bro. Like, I don't know what you think you're gonna get out of us.
Oh shit, man. But yeah, it's a you know, it's a real thing, man.
Yeah. So you at some point the shop shuts down, and then was this like a moment of were you like scrambling to figure out what the fuck you were gonna do business wise that led you to start doing the grow operations, or how did it unfold?
No, it was just having a love for weed, man. It's just like, okay, I can't do this, you know. You know, at the time, those pre-ICO licenses were selling for like a meal. Right. You know, it was like a meal ticket for one of them licenses, man. And so I was like, okay, I can't do that, man. So what can I do and still be in this industry, you know? And so, you know, threw up a couple garage setups, a couple bedroom setups, and it just wasn't enough, you know. It's just like, so I was like, how can I go bigger? And then that's when I started talking to my boy Stang, you know, who I used to get packs from up north, And he was like, yeah, just buy some property up here and I'll show you everything. And you know, follow Stang too on Instagram, Orion's Blunt. I had to give him a shout out. But yeah, so we bought some property, got some pots, got some fucking dirt, and shout out to Gangsta Boo, man. She had hooked me up with these guys that wanted to shoot some B-roll for a documentary they were doing about a big dealer from the 80s, and they didn't have no current footage of marijuana.
Okay.
So they're like, you know, would you care if we came by your farm and shot some footage? And I was like, yeah, that's cool, man, you know, and just shoot me a free video or something, you know, which was just the trade-off. And they just seen how we was rocking out there with the choppers and four-wheelers and big ad, and they're like, dude, we need to film this and make this a show.
Really?
And, you know, it's not like I had set out to, like, oh, I'm going to have a reality show about growing weed. It's just like fell in my lap, you know what I'm saying? And I just ran with it, man. And, you know, and it's weird because, you know, you're doing something that's not really all the way legal. So It's not something you really want to put on TV, but it's like, you know, it's you got to understand where I'm at, man. Like I've been popped a couple times.
Up north?
Yeah, and
Okay.
it's not like the police come and they put a note on your gate, say, hey man, you got 3 days to cut down your plants. We're gonna come back and check. If you don't cut down your plants, it's $1,000 a day. So like 2 years ago, they came like in September. We had like 30, 40 days left on our greenhouse, you know, on our big greenhouse, and
So you could probably afford the 30K.
so it's like $1,000 a day. Let's just run it up. You know what I'm saying? And got a lawyer and got it knocked down to like 12 grand. Got put on payment plans. So it's like they really fucking work with you. It's not like. So I was like, it's not. You know, it's.
It's not like they're coming in and throwing you in jail for 20 years.
Exactly. You know, exactly. Not. You know, and you know they care more about environmental shit, diverting water or using. You know, bullshit pesticides that leak into the water. Like that's what they really care about more than anything is, because you know you got growers, hippie growers that are, but then you got like you know these cartels and you know shout out to the Asians, man. I love y'all, but a lot of Asians out there, you know that are getting it, like getting it, you know, like.
But they're not really worried about the long-term sustainability of this.
Yeah, it's like they might have 3 or 4 spots, knowing that. 1 or 2 of them is probably going to get busted, but as long as 1 or 2 of them make it, they're winning.
Right.
You know, because like I said, it's not, you know, it's not a situation to where they, you know, they don't take your property, they don't confiscate your cars, they don't, you know, it's where I'm at.
Probably was like that for a long time.
Yeah,
but,
yeah, you know, and it's like, you know, it's the cops grow weed out there. The cops talk about, yeah, those plants look good, and, you know, and it's just a lifestyle. I mean, it's just a different lifestyle, man. It's really hard to explain it without being there, and it's just a totally different. Like it's like weed is nothing. It's not a big deal. It's like that town, like a lot of these small towns, they wouldn't even be able to make it if it wasn't for, you know, you got a town with 1 restaurant but 6 car lots with brand, because everybody's buying brand new trucks in October, you know, and so the economy really benefits from it, you know.
Wow, that's crazy. So would you is all the weed that's being grown up north, is any of that legal weed, or is that
you got
it's sold on the legal market as well?
But you know, I mean, you don't see outdoor or greenhouse and dispensaries too much, man. Everybody wants indoor. You know, see, my whole thing is I want to grow the best affordable product. Like I you know, outdoor is crazy right now. It's super high, and you know, I can make more money. You know, like when I owned the dispensary, I had more people come in wanting just the cheapest $20 gram. And we might have all this top shelf, but they're coming every day for that cheap, you know.
That's what I always hear is the high end of the weed market might seem like the thing when you're surrounding yourself with rappers and shit. Yeah, but then in reality, when you're in a weed shop, everybody's coming in and buying shake or dirty ass weed.
You know, fucking pre-roll. So it's like, you know, there's a bit, but yeah, I would say 95% of the grows, if not more, are black market.
Right.
You know, and now, I mean, the weed economy is going to be so fucked up this year because of all the fires. You know, it's Oregon burnt. You know, Northern Cal, like Mendocino, all these Butte County, all these counties that are, you know, talking about hundreds of millions of pounds. You know, and like Colorado had a cold snap. You know, and lost a bunch, and Washington was on fire. So it's like you all like in, you know, it's not going to affect L.A. Or California, but like in states where it's not legal, you know, in states, Alabama, Tennessee, Florida, all these places, like, it's going to be fucked up around January. It's going to be a drought.
Right.
A big drought.
Let me ask you something. If someone, like, okay, the blunt's ready, I believe. If you took a garage, you know, like, or even let's say this room, like, let's say this was the garage that you were working with, and you had an indoor grow, how many pounds per crop would we be talking? And then compare that to the kind of numbers that you could do up north with a farm.
Okay, I mean, like, okay, say, so a room like this, like,
So this is like a 4-car garage type size, I would guess, maybe.
Yeah, I mean,
3.
I would say, I mean, you could easily pull, you know, let me see. I mean, probably 20 to 30, maybe 40 pounds out of here.
Okay.
You know, maybe 50 if you really pack them in and sea of green type shit. And so you say that's top shelf. Let's say you're getting $3,000 for that. So that's like what, 150K, you know, and then you take like, you take a property up north where you do 99. They usually don't fuck with you if you're under 100. 99, you're getting
500 per pound.
You're getting 5 to 10 pounds per plant. So let's just
okay.
say low end, let's say 5 pounds times, we'll round it up to 100. You know, now you're looking at 500,000.
Right.
If you're selling pounds for a rack, you know, and so you're making $500,000 off that, you know.
Right.
And a lot of times you have greenhouses, because you can turn a greenhouse every 3 or 4 months, so you can get 3-4 runs a year out of the greenhouse. So you got, you know, that's, but the outdoor, that's like your big lump sum, you know. And if you know, it's even going higher now. Like, you know, we dictate the weed prices. Like, the reason indoor is so high right now is because there's not a lot of other shit. You see what I'm saying? So that drives the prices of the, you know, they're $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a pound right now. It's insane for, you know, for the indoor right now, man. But, you know, with the greenhouse and the outdoor, it's just economically more people buy that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have no problem selling that shit flying off the shelf, you know, whereas with indoor, it's a lot harder to find someone you make less off of it, because, you know, I mean, how much, you know, it's a lot more money. Like, my utility bill is $3 or $4 a month.
Right.
Running the, you know, so it's like you already got 15 grand a run just in utilities.
Right. I spoke to somebody who was growing legal weed in like a huge warehouse type scenario and was talking to him about it. And he told me that he basically felt like he had his hands tied because he wasn't able to use any of the pesticides and shit that he was used to using when he was growing weed on the black market.
Yeah.
And, you know, from his perspective, at least, he felt like the whole shit was absurd because he felt like he could grow weed faster and safer by using the pesticides, and that, like, basically the government was kind of like binding his hands in a way that he didn't really think was very logical.
Well, because a lot of shit that's not safe in California is considered safe in other states, or not organic here, it'll be organic in other states. So it's like, you know, California is really, really strict on that shit, you know.
Right.
And you know, you know, and nobody wants to smoke pesticides, but I got news for y'all, man. If you've been smoking weed your whole life, you smoked hella goddamn pesticides, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Especially back in the Mexican dirt weed, CD day, like, that was pesticided up, no doubt, you know. So it's not good for you. It's definitely, you know, but I mean, everybody's done it, man, and to really go all the way organic is hard. It's hard, man. Like,
right.
You know, like, we have to do, like, we buy insects to kill insects.
Right.
Like, we'll get predatory mites and shit to kill. So it's definitely easier to cut corners when you're doing pesticides and all that, but it's just not something you want to put in your body. You know?
So you don't think it's a safe bet in the long term, or
no? There's certain pesticides that you can use that are safe, you know. But in that white market shit, I mean, they test hard. You know, that's how you get a lot of these boof packs out now, is because, like, you got these fucking CBD and hemp farms.
right?
And it's got to be under a certain percent of THC. Well, if it tests just a little bit over, they can't sell it on the white market. So now you get these packs for 300 or 400 that people are buying and selling as regular weed, and you don't get high because it's a CBD. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
They call them boof packs. That's a big hustle going on right now. So
A CBD weed. You ever smoked it?
Nah, not
I
really,
hear
man.
people talking about it now, and I'm like, wow, all right. So this is the thing. Like people are really
That's
talking
like
about rolling a CBD blunt.
like in Bama, they got like you walk in, it's like a dispensary,
Yeah.
but it's CBD, man.
Down
So,
south and shit,
so
like
weird,
anywhere
man.
where they can't have a weed shop yet, but they're like, we're gonna have this CBD
Yeah,
shop.
man.
It's so fucking weird, right? Like,
Yeah, man.
good for you, I guess, you know. But like, I mean, you want to kind of tell them, like, man, we would be laughing at you. Well, we are laughing at the concept of this,
Yeah,
from
like
a
it's-
California perspective.
I mean, like I don't know what is the point of smoke? Is it supposed to calm you down, or I don't know? I
Yeah,
think
it's supposed to be like the relaxing
you know,
part of the weed
you know,
without
I
the
get-
psychedelic experience.
most of the people I know that smoke CBD are on papers, fucking parole or probation or something, and they can't smoke regular weed, and they don't want to fuck with that spice, and they just like to. You know, we might roll up regular blunts, and they might roll. You know, Roy, my boy Roy used to do that. He used to have to roll the CBD shit up, you know, and on paper just to kind of feel like you're smoking. You know.
Yeah.
Can you smoke? Can I smoke?
Yeah,
it?
yeah, you go crazy. So we gave you a wood, and then you rolled a fucking Dutch, or he rolled a Dutch. Okay,
Yeah, they're
and now
rolling
he
it.
might be rolling a wood.
Yeah.
I see. Okay. Yeah, because I remember I was down in Florida a few years ago, and I went to a fucking, CBD shop that also had mad kratom.
Oh my God.
I'm like, this is funny that they paired these things together here.
Kratom, man. That's a.
I tried it too. I didn't feel
I've
nothing.
done it. I've done it.
I didn't really feel anything.
I've tried it, man. Just
That's what I would say about CBD too. I tried that a bunch of times. I never really felt anything.
No, I had a friend just hooping and hollering about this kratom shit. It's natural, man. It's you can. I tried it, man, and it's fuck. I didn't feel shit, man.
Yeah.
And I had to eat a lot of it. Like I'm like, dude, I got to eat this much, and it's fuck, man. Powder, chalky shit.
Yeah. I'm like, what is
Well,
it?
let me get a cup or something for our ashtray, please, sir.
Oh yeah. Seems kind of like unrealistic to think that this is going to do a whole bunch to you.
But I guess it's for the, it's maybe the nostalgia. I used to smoke. I can't smoke. I don't know, man.
I think
don't
it's
know.
really just them trying to break into the weed market without selling weed. Okay,
yeah.
Pensacola needs a fucking, is going to have a weed shop one day, but if we're the guys
Yeah.
with the CBD shop, then we'll be perfectly poised to be the ones with the.
That's got to be, it's got to be, I don't know. Maybe if I was in Bama and I had never been to Cali, I would be stoked to walk into a spot and see. I don't think I would smoke it, but it'd be cool to, maybe it's just like experience type shit. You want the experience of going in and. But it's just, man, that shit
we
looks.
forget we're in our 30s. We've been around a lot of weed. We've been around a lot of people who do actual drugs. It's like to us we're jaded. If you're a 35-year-old school teacher who ain't never been around shit and you see the CBD store pop up, it probably seems kind of appealing.
Yeah, man. But I just don't. I don't know, man. Like. I wouldn't want to smoke if it didn't get me high.
Yeah.
Maybe if there are some super health benefits, I don't know, man. But
If it wasn't getting me high, I would probably just be like, maybe I don't want to inhale tobacco, cigar leaves full of
shit.
whatever, Yeah, that's.
But us being growers, we hate hemp growers, dude. Being up on the mountain, like it's because pollen from the plant can be carried 2-3 miles, and so a lot of these CBD places, they pop up males and they don't give a fuck, and so you'll have a huge garden and your shit'll get seeded because the hemp farm down the street, the wind's blowing your way and it seeds your whole shit. You see what I'm saying? So they're like a lot of times when those farms pop up, they don't last long if there's a lot of growers around, because it's like you're fucking up people's money, man.
For sure. So you being a down south boy and shit, do you like the lifestyle of being up north and sort of having a lot of, fresh air and beautiful scenery and whatnot? Is that a lot better for you than being in LA?
Yeah, man. I mean, it's also the family. I got a family now, man, and
they don't mind being up there.
They don't mind being up there, man, and it's I moved my father up there from Bama.
Oh, wow.
So I'm up there, man. And just that, I'm just a nature guy, man. Riding 4-wheelers, shooting guns. I love all that shit, So L.A. is dope, but it's like I was paying $50,000-$60,000 a year to rent a spot that I'm never gonna own, and I was like, I could be putting this towards something that I'm gonna own,
right?
And also it's like I'm not no spring chicken, man. I don't want to rap forever, man, and this is something that I can do that. And still have my foot in the game a little bit and be able to provide provide a good living. It's a lot of money in this shit, man. And what else am I gonna do? Jackie gonna go get a 9 to 5 somewhere?
Right, yeah.
It's just this is the only logical step for me, man. And
drug dealing has been an exit strategy for many a rapper.
yeah, that's what got me in the game, and that's how I'm leaving the game. You feel me? Yeah, that's how I got. Yeah, so
That's what's up. When did you feel like you actually started to kind of lose connection with rapping and wanted to be a rapper though? Like, what was that process like, and when did it happen?
like when I stopped wanting to rap.
Yeah, when you were kind of like, you know what, maybe this ain't it for me anymore. When we did the last interview, you were probably still doing your thing, right?
I mean, I'm recording right now. I love doing the music. I love the in the studio and the vibe,
Right.
But it's all about money to me, man. Like when I was, 5-10 years ago, when I was getting 5-10 grand a show and I was doing 150, 200 shows a year, it made sense then.
Yeah.
Now, like even 4 years ago, I might do 2 or 3 tours, make like 20, 30, 40 grand, and 100,000 a year ain't shit in LA. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, it just didn't make, it got to the point to, do I want to just keep trying to make another hit, like chasing that thing or do I want to get this money? Cause, I just beat a case. I was out on bond. I couldn't be, I wasn't even supposed to leave Bama. I mean, I can't really be flexing too hard, and so all that shit's over with now. And I'm just trying to get it, man. Like, I don't know. It's just like, it's like, I love it, but it's like, it's financially, it's got to make sense for me, man.
Definitely. What was the case you beat?
Police, we were in Bama. Police ran in the crib and found some weed. And me and my boy Roy, my boy Sean, and they charged everyone for the weed. You know what I'm saying? So eventually, my boy Roy, it was his weed, so he took but for 4 years I was wrapped up where I had to fly back and forth to court because basically I didn't say, hey, that's Roy's weed. I didn't say that's not my weed. I just didn't say nothing.
Right.
It's like, we'll just talk about it in court, and actually the day I was going to trial, man, I got snowed in. I was supposed to fly into Nashville, and so my lawyer just lied and was like, yeah, we're ready, Jackie's here, we got all the witnesses here, blah, 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 we're ready to take it to court, and they offered me probation, and I said, no, I'm not taking that. I was like, there's no reason for me to take probation when someone already claimed the weed.
Right.
So he just faked like I was there, and they dropped the case. They dropped the charges, and I luckily, if they would have been like, all right, well, let's go to court, and I wouldn't even fucking been there.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. So
I definitely see the appeal though, for sure, because I mean, there's a certain stress that comes with having your main source of money being like sort of rooted in your fame, where it drives a lot of people crazy realistically, because they start to get into that mentality of like, I got to go out all the time. I got to be in the clubs around the right people. I got to be making these connections and stuff. Like the lifestyle that you're describing of just being able to sort of tap out on all that shit and just create a product, sell the product, then you get to go to sleep at night, and it doesn't really matter, like, if you are as popular today as you were 6 months ago. It doesn't fucking matter. I mean, there's a lot of people who have never experienced any degree of being a celebrity or whatever might not be able to appreciate that, but I'm sure that you, after your time in the rap game, can appreciate that, because it's just a lot to not deal with.
Oh man, it's great going to the store and nobody knows who I am, which, I mean, I do that here in LA too, but I'm saying, to not have that follow me, like over there, I'm just a regular dude that's and people find out I do music. Oh, I've heard of you through you on Jelly Roll song, Yellow Wolf song. I heard you, but it's like I don't, it's a different part of my life down there. Like I'm a country boy down there, man. Like and I love. Like you said, the peace, man, and just like because it's stressful to try. It's stressful. It's very stressful and very expensive to try to stay relevant. It is, and to like you said, you got to be at certain events. You got to be here. You got to make and sometimes the pros got to outweigh the cons, or vice versa, man. So it's like, is it really worth? Like now, if I was strictly making money off music in this time during the corona, oh, dude, I'd be starving.
You never hear any rappers admit to being broke at this time period right now, but you got to assume that that's the case for a huge percentage of people, because like I can think of rappers off the top of my head who I'm like, I know that you're not selling any music, or your music's not streaming right now. You can't do any shows. Your merch doesn't sell unless you're on tour. So you are hurting. Like, I'm 100% sure that you're hurting. You might have money in the bank, and that's dope, but like things cannot be looking pretty for you right now. But nobody will really like admit it. But
nah,
you
man,
got to assume.
if you got $1 million, man, you know, and your expenses are, you know, if you're living $100,000 a month type life, I mean, you got a good year, and that you know, like you know, I know artists who are definitely hurting right now, because for an artist, that's the main, touring is it. That's how you make your bread, you know, like, I mean, unless you're this super, you know, unless you know, streams and all that stuff. But I mean, for like the you know, I was more of an underground artist. Like for the underground, you know, we got to tour, man. We got to tour, because that's, like you said, you know, artists like me, you know, it would not be, it's very regular for me to make more money on my merch than I did for the show that night.
Right.
You know, and like you said, the only time, like, nobody's hitting me up on Instagram for the shirts. When I'm on tour, they'll buy them, they meet me, they take a picture. It's the whole experience. Remember the show? But so that's a big deal for artists, man. You know, that's a big deal, and it's been rough on some people, man. I know it has.
Yeah, and I mean, we're whatever 8-9 months in. I mean, we're not 2 years in, but it seems like, you know, there's a very, very good chance that doing a rap show might still be pretty unrealistic in a year from now.
And even when it does come time for people to do shows, it's going to be there's still going to be some type of social distancing, or some type of, it's going to take a long time to go back the way it was.
They're not going to stuff venues the way that they used to.
So I'm saying it's not going to be, and it's, you know, and I don't know. Have you ever watched a virtual? I've never watched a virtual concert.
I went to one the other day.
Yeah, I don't know. You know, I can't see if that turning into a big thing. Maybe it is a big thing. I don't know. Are people getting paid? I know Travis Scott with the Fortnite shit and all that,
see,
but everybody ain't Travis Scott. You know
I think that if you're a Travis Scott, or, you know, I saw Billie Eilish did one recently that, you know, it seemed like it was production was very on point, and she's a huge artist and stuff, so I think that it probably makes sense for her. But I went to one that was a Chief Keef and Polo G show, and, you know, it's kind of awkward for the artist to have to perform to a room full of nobody, and then I have no access to how many people bought tickets or whatever, but I didn't have anybody tweet at me about it. I didn't have anybody talk, like, show a video clip, show a screenshot, whatever. I don't know. It's kind of hard for me to imagine fans being all that into it. I mean, I think that when you pay $20 to go to a rap show, the truth is that a large percentage of people are paying for the social experience, for being in the room, feeling the energy of being around a bunch of motherfuckers who all appreciate this music that you appreciate. I mean, there's so many things that you're paying for.
Maybe give them a chance to meet them. You know, that's not a possibility.
Or at least just be up close and personal. And even just the feeling of, I'm going to a Chief Keef show and something could happen. I don't know what, but, you know, somebody could jump in the crowd. There could be a fight in the crowd. Something interesting could happen. Like, all that shit goes away as soon as it's a virtual concert.
And, you know, it's an event. Like, nobody's meeting up with the homies, going and getting a 6-pack of beer and a bottle of liquor to watch a virtual. You know, you do that before you go to a concert, man. It's a whole, let's get ready, fresh outfit. You look clean. You know what I'm saying? Nobody better step on my kicks tonight. You know. But with the virtual, you can watch it in your pajamas, man, and just, you know. But
I realized the other day I haven't even thought about buying anything to wear out in public since COVID. Like, haven't had to think about, like, oh, I need some nice shoes because I got to go to this thing.
I'm gonna be honest.
Not once.
I haven't bought one piece of clothing that wasn't from Walmart in about a year. I'm a dickie down, man.
Respect.
I'm still in my town. All there is a Ross, a Marshalls, and Walmart.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm an online ordering mother. You know, I order, you know, all my shoes, everything. I got to get online, man. It's like, it's crazy to be in a. You ever lived in a real little bitty town, man? Like a one fucking horse town?
Not as itty bitty as you're talking about.
Yeah, like, but it's different, man. Like, it's, you know, that's like here in LA, the main thing, you know, main thing I was looking forward to was the food, man. I get some real food, man. You know what I'm saying? Some real food, man. That's what I miss so much.
There's not much going on for that. How far you got to drive to go get some interesting
No,
cuisine?
I'm about an hour from Sac.
Oh, okay, yeah.
About an hour from Sac. So about 3 hours from San Fran.
Right.
You know, but just on an everyday level, you know. So we cook a lot, man, and try to eat healthy, man.
Your kids had like a regular school experience going prior to COVID?
No, I got a 3-year-old and a 3-month-old.
Oh, okay. So still super young. Right?
So yeah, so we thinking about putting them in preschool, but I mean, like man, one kid catches a cold, they all got it there. So I don't know. It's just a weird time, man. I don't know. You got to be thinking about these decisions soon, man.
Definitely.
You're going to be in the club here soon, man.
Yeah, I mean, my girl thought that she was going to be going to Paris and doing all this kind of shit throughout her pregnancy, and then like pretty much as soon as we figured out she was pregnant, COVID was in full swoop.
It's been a wild ride, man. It's been a wild ride.
So,
man.
in terms of your show, like, what are the kind of things that like became narratives for episodes? Like, I'm sure that they're observing what's going on and they're trying to figure out how they make content out of it. What ended up being like, what was that experience like for you, and what did they end up sort of focusing on?
Well, like the first episode is really dope because it's I know last time we were on the show we talked about the possibility of getting robbed, being up there, and it happened,
Really?
and not to me but to a guy on the show called named Britt, who worked with Stang on the farm. And so yeah, everybody was out of town, man, and he was on the Xbox just fucking Xboxing it up, and they kicked the door in, and the people he was playing with were thought enough to record it, so
They did. Wow.
so we got so that's how the first episode, because man, here's the thing, man, is like that shit really happens up there, man, a lot. It's anytime where there's a lot of money like that, it's and so we didn't want to just show like the a lot of the shit weed shows out are just like really white market, like
Look at this cool dispensary we have, and all these cool, fun, clean things that are happening here.
$1 million facilities. Like, nah, this show is about is to inspire people that, hey, you're a regular guy. I don't need $1 million. I can go out here and put $5,000-$10,000 down on a property. I can do some hard work. And I could do, man, if Jackie can do it, I can do it, because, man, he didn't, you know what I'm saying? I don't represent the huge $1 million, I represent the dude out there goddamn getting it, you know what I'm saying? Just like, and there's a lot of money in it, not that there is, but the show focuses on not just the happy, like, there's fucking, like, I just lost my crib that I was building, my RV, the brand new RV I was talking about on the show, it all burned up in the fire. Like,
Wow.
I had 35 acres, dude. It fucking looks like you dropped napalm on that bitch. I mean,
shit.
Scorched earth, like not one tree, so we talk about real shit in the show, like shit that, you know what I'm saying? It's not just like, oh, hey, we're growing weed, and it's like shit goes down, and y'all should check it out, man. Social Club TV. Download the app. You don't gotta sign up for shit. It's free. You can, if you got a phone or a smart TV, you can watch it, man. And it's cool. Like, 6 episodes, man. A few people passed away during the making of it, so there's some sad shit in there. But it's it's mainly just happy shit, funny shit. Fucking one episode, Stang has a trailer, man, and dude, there's like, we just kept hearing shit in the walls, man. I'm like, those fucking bats, homie, or mice or something. And we open up the wall and just like 100 fucking bats come out. And it's, it's just like mountain shit, man.
What the fuck? That's terrifying.
Yeah, mountain shit, man.
I'm so scared of bats. God damn it.
Well, and I mean,
I'll burn the whole house down.
And the thing with that is, man, they're not going outside to shit, bro. They're shitting in them walls. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Just like they would in a cave,
Right.
And so, but he's built a house since then. But that's on the episode, and it's just some crazy. It's just real life shit, man. It's definitely entertaining, man.
No, yeah, it's crazy when you say that, like, how there are reality shows that are kind of like about this like super clean cut version of what it is to be a marijuana distributor or whatever. It's like we kind of take it for granted that the culture of marijuana is generally something that you would want to be associated with. But it is interesting to think that like that could potentially not be that way at some point, like it could, like the overall image of it could get so sort of whitewashed that it might not necessarily hold the same. It's hard to imagine because it does feel really good smoking weed.
Yeah.
But you could, like, you know, sometimes when I look at like bar culture, I'm just like, bro, like, this shit is gay as fuck. Like, why would anybody want anything to do with this? Like, I'm not a drinker myself.
Yeah.
But you kind of look at like the craft beer like lane, and you're like, wow, like that shit is so corny to me.
I
like,
think so too.
Yeah. No offense to any Hootie and the Blowfish type fans out there or whatever, but
no, yeah, man. It's I don't know, man. They say you drink beer for taste, and that shit just tastes like shit. It's like that beer drinks like the Coors Light you drink tastes like fucking water, man.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, but that shit you're drinking tastes like horse piss. You know what I'm saying? Like
I'm never a beer guy even then. Like, even when I did drink a lot of beer, you never really could have got me to say, like, yeah, beer is incredible. I love the way this shit tastes.
Yeah. No, I pretty much drink it to get drunk. Like, I'm not drinking it because it tastes good.
Right.
You know? I want to catch a little buzz, man.
Yeah.
But I never really moved on to the liquor per se. I might take a couple shots here and there in the club but you know, bar or something.
But if you're gonna have a beer, you're gonna have a Coors Light.
Yeah, man.
Respect.
I'm never gonna have I'm never gonna have a
have a
Coors
case
Light.
of Coors Light.
I'll definitely drink Coors Light. But yeah, man, I don't get that craft beer shit. I'm glad to hear that, man.
Yeah.
Some people love that shit.
Well, I'd be astonished if you did. I feel like beer has kind of like lost any sort of cultural relevance that it had in hip hop.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since you had a rapper that was like really excitedly telling you about his beer consumption, you know? But that's one thing. I was watching the Jordan documentary, and I'm seeing Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen and shit, and they're all just cracking some fucking light beers, and they're hyped. And I'm like, wow, I have not seen a bunch of rich black guys excited about beer.
Endorsement, like a little paid endorsement.
No, because I don't. They were telling the cameraman like, yo, like don't film this or you're not putting this out or whatever, because all that footage was secret until that documentary.
Yeah.
So I think that was part of why you got to see them drinking the beer, was because they never would have done it publicly at that time. They were geeked off the Bud Light.
Geeked off of it, man. That was a good documentary, though, man.
Oh yeah.
Jordan was pretty much an asshole, I guess, in life, but.
I liked it though. I liked the way he was willing to be so aggressive with his team, and they actually just took it and like grew from it. Yeah,
and I remember watching, like, you know, being a kid and just like the energy during those games, man. Like, my mom wasn't a basketball fan, but we watched the Bulls. That's the only basketball game we would watch is the Bulls. You know,
really?
As a family, as a little kid, like didn't watch basketball after Jordan and didn't watch it before, but like he made people that wouldn't, you know, he just added something to it that's. Yeah, he changed the game.
It's crazy how sports will occasionally have that kind of person, because it was like that. Like, I would have probably never really got interested in UFC, but then Brock Lesnar came around, and I was like, I gotta like I was seeing the commercials of him just like beating knocking people out with these little punches. I'm like, I gotta like watch every fight this guy's doing, and then I became an actual UFC fan.
I'm so glad that he like made that transition and actually got a belt. You know, like because you know there was a lot of people were talking shit like, this WWF is fake or you know whatever, and he came and he whooped. But that's a big dude, man. Like, he's just a beast, man.
Yeah, and I mean, they kind of like throw him some fights that he could win, and they did what they could. I feel like he would have no chance these days against the current heavyweight division. Dudes are just way too good now.
Yeah, who's your favorite fighter right now?
Yeah, I like them all. I like my boy Izzy, actually. That's who I'm gonna go with.
I'm excited to watch Conor.
Yeah.
Let's see if he's very entertaining, man. What you think about the Tyson Roy Jones? You give it one round?
I'm not out here to cast my picks. I'm gonna start betting soon, but I want to get into that.
I think it's gonna be a pretty short fight, but I don't know. I'm a big Roy Jones fan too, though.
Right.
Like, he was dope in his time, man. But
yeah,
I don't know. But I'm definitely gonna get that pay-per-view on the free bootleg.
Oh, you do that?
Yeah.
Nice. Much respect. Yeah. I have a VPN and I download the torrents. I've been downloading torrents forever, but now I got the VPN, so I can be a little bit more careful about it.
Yeah, I'm just straight on the Xbox.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Damn.
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah.
I feel like they don't even care. Like, it's hard to feel bad about pirating UFC shit because all these clips are on Twitter for free right after anyway. Like, you know, if you're gonna give me the most exciting part of it for free, then why would I feel bad about downloading the whole boring ass thing?
Yeah.
You know, it's the same
I mean,
shit.
I figured so many people downloaded my music without paying. I'm just getting my shit back in the universe.
Well,
man.
you were in that era too, where it was like people didn't even know how to get music on the internet without fucking downloading it illegally, right?
Oh shit, yeah.
That was just
like a Napster.
Common as fuck back then, yeah. Okay, so what else you got going on? You're still growing hella weed, I assume.
Yeah, man. The fires took out my biggest farm, but we have a little thing that we do down there called fire insurance, where, I might have 2 or 3 homies. They got a property over here. He's got one on the other side of town. So I'll let him grow some on mine. I'll grow some on there. You see what I'm saying? So if something does happen, catch on fire, police, anything, all our eggs aren't in one basket.
Well, that must be
so,
nice,
so
yeah.
that really worked out for me this year, But yeah, we just, growing hella weed, man, and raising these kids. And then, I'm recording. Shout out to Mally Boy. Shout out to DJ Fu, a couple folks I'm working with while I'm down here. And
DJ Fu that we know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out Fu.
Yeah, man. Just dropping some, just a smoking album, dude. I mean, I can't rap, I always rapped about what I was doing. So, that's why I'm always rapping about the strip club and this, but now I ain't been doing nothing but fucking growing weed. So every song is just really about selling packs and getting high, just some good feel good shit, man,
Right. Much respect.
Yeah. I'll email you some sneak peeks, man.
Let's do it, man. I'm not gonna say that you just gave me some mushrooms, but where do you get your mushrooms from?
You actually know them, but I can't say it but I'll tell you. But yeah, they're locally harvested.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's up with the game now? You can legally sell like mushroom chocolate bars? Can you explain this to me?
I don't know. I don't think you can.
Right.
Well, you bought one in a shop?
Well, no, we got an advertiser on a podcast, and they gave us a bunch of weed to advertise, and then they also gave us these mushroom chocolate bars that they were hyped for us to promote. And I'm just thinking, like, these are illegal? Like, how does this? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I know, like in Oregon and shit, it's legal.
Right. And did you see that they just where is it, Seattle, that they decriminalized like all? Like, meth,
heroin and all that
everything
shit.
You can have
That's
a personal
crazy,
amount.
Man.
The world is changing.
That's crazy, man. Yeah, shout out to Jersey. They just went recreational.
Right, that's huge. But I mean, the idea that you could just have that, you're not going to be some guy getting thrown in jail for having a small amount of heroin on you or whatever.
Like, what is
I wonder
it?
how
Like,
much
what's
that's
a
going
small?
to.
Yeah, like a gram. Like.
Yeah, because I'm sure if you had enough that it looked like you were selling it, they'd be all over you.
That's crazy to think about that. You could just walk around with a sack of pebbles in your pocket, just fucking some crack, and no, it's officer, it's just personal.
Yeah, we should go out there and just do some hard drugs just to.
Yeah, because we can.
Because you can now.
It's like how you go to Vegas to get hookers, because you go to
Right,
Seattle.
like there's hookers in LA and you're not hunting them down, but then you're in Vegas, you might take part just because it's legal. Same thing with like Amsterdam.
Yeah.
I've seen people fuck hookers in Amsterdam that would have never fucked a hooker out here.
Yeah. You just go to Seattle to fucking bang some heroin.
I mean, I've said that before too. I said it as a joke. I was like, we're in China. Doesn't China have famous heroin? Maybe this should be the place where I first try it. Everybody, no. They shut it down. I mean, I guess I'm probably glad that I didn't do that. But
yeah. You've been to China?
Yeah.
Oh, that's probably cool over there, huh?
Yeah, it's fun. I mean,
it's weird.
Everybody just looks at you like a fucking freak show and just.
It's weird to think it's still communist, It's weird, like.
Yeah, I feel like I know so much more about China now, and just what the government is really actually all about. Because like everybody I ever met in China didn't regard it as like a communist state. Like I met some fucking Irish people that had a tattoo parlor out there, and I remember asking them like, the cops ever give you a hard time being outsiders starting a business out here? They're like, no, they don't. They just don't give a shit unless you. But if they were to start doing some edgy stuff that the government didn't like, they'd probably be down their fucking neck.
Yeah, it's massive, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's just so overwhelming. God, I haven't been there in such a long time. But I mean, everybody there is really polite, but also looks like, being a white person with tattoos and being tall. Like, I mean, I've never felt like such a freak show in my life.
Yeah,
there's everybody looking at you like they can't believe that you exist.
Oh man, yeah. I heard it's like that for black folks over there. They're just like,
yeah. I bet it would be like that for you too, because even out there, you would probably like confuse the fuck out of them, because they know what they're looking at. They know you're not from there, and they'd be like, "Who is this like partially Asian looking guy with the long hair?" Like, bro, they would probably be as weirded out by you as they were by me.
Yeah, man. And the whole the whole kid limit thing is weird, man.
Do they still do that?
I think so, don't they?
I don't know.
I don't know. Hold on, I'm Asian, man. I might get slaughtered in the Asian community for saying something that's not true. I know that used to.
China Mac will show up and be like, "Hey,
yeah, China
it's
Mac.
not happening." He had a rally out here for against the Asian violence.
No, dude, he's You know, I'm surprised. Did he get at Benzino? Because Benzino said some fucking racist Asian shit.
Did he?
Oh,
I missed
man.
that if they did get into it.
Oh, dude, like they got him on, I guess maybe the police fucking thing, and he's going off on some Asian dude. Like,
Really?
I was like, as soon as I saw it, I'm like, oh shit, China Mac's fixing to get at that dude.
I was thinking about that honestly this morning, about how we have so much less room for sympathy toward people who are like victims of racism when it's coming from an Asian person. Like, it just feels like the American consciousness doesn't have like enough room for understanding or giving too much of a shit about racism besides anti-black racism. Like that's our racism, and like the anti-Chinese stuff, people are just never going to really care as much about it seems.
That's why I'm naming my album Kung Flu.
Oh, yeah.
on this
But how do you feel about Trump sort of characterizing the virus that way? And is this something you're paying attention to?
The China virus?
Yeah.
I mean, you know, man, you know, when it comes to politics, I just look out for weed policies. Who's doing the bend? They both kind of suck at that. So
Right.
I don't know, man. Like, it's a crazy time right now, man. Like, whenever people are boarding up their businesses because of an election, like, it's weird, man. It's
I'm
like
actually
the
really
purge.
impressed that we haven't seen anything destroyed really of note. And I think that today or tomorrow could be the day that they finally acknowledge that Biden won this thing.
Yeah.
So we're going to see like actually what the Trump supporters got in. Like,
Yeah.
like are y'all going to fucking burn down the state building, or are y'all just going to kind of take it and let it go? I don't know.
See, that's another reason I like being up there on that mountain. You know?
Yeah.
Just sit back and
Don't
watch
have to
that
worry
shit
about
on
it too
TV,
much.
man.
Yeah, I feel you. All right, so everybody check out your fucking your show. What's it called one more time? for the people?
Croptober. Social Club TV app, man. You can get it Roku, Apple TV, Android TV, Fire Sticks, Smart TV. If you got a Smart TV, you can get it. Real easy app to download. They got a bunch of other good shows on there too, man. So check it out.
Fire. Well, hey, Jackie Chain, nice to have you
man.
back, man.
Always a pleasure, man.
Much love. Appreciate you. No Jumper, coolest podcast in the world. Check us out on YouTube, SoundCloud, iTunes. Like, comment, subscribe. NoJumper.com. If you want to support, appreciate y'all.